Hello and welcome to study English for Oral Communication. I'm Sajivani Vandikul. Some basic principles. Topic 2. Learning outcomes. It will be classify the basic principles of oral communication, explain why oral communication is important, describe the roles of speaker and listener in the communication process, identify interferences in communication. So you will be knowing about all these. And let me talk to you the introduction. Oral communication involves good listening and speaking skills. That means you have to be a good listener. So as well as you have to be a good speaker as well. So to have that, to involve in oral communication. And principles of oral communication. The way you use your oral communication skill can either help or hinder your ability to influence or bond with family and friends, and also affect your performance at work. So you have to be very careful about it. And according to Camp and Satterwhite in 2002, explained that oral communication is a two-way process. That means it requires both a speaker and a listener. There should be a speaker. The speaker would speak and the listener would listen. So that means there are two people. So that is a two-way process. And it is most effective when the sender of a message has good speaking skills and the receiver has good listening skills as well. When someone is giving or sending the message, it should be so effective. And from the other side, the speaking and then the receiver, should be a good listener. So oral communication therefore involves in two crucial skills, as I said before, that is listening and speaking. So when it comes to listening skill, mindful attention, hearing, which is merely the physical ability to hear sounds, occurs unconsciously. So listening to hear something mindfully. So effective listening requires you to listen intently and pay close attention to the speaker. So according to the Devito, in 2009, so effective listening comprise 5 components. Like you can see here, the listening, the other one is you are receiving, and then you will be understanding, and then you will be remembering, and then again you will evaluate, and also you will be responding. So these are the 5 components according to Devito about the effective listening. And when it comes to listening, it has two types. First one, you can get it as the passive, and the second one you would take it as the active. So when it comes to passive, what will happen is listening, it's a lower level of connection and absorb the minimum number of words. That is passive listening. But when it comes to the active listening, it is in a higher level of concentration. You listen actively at school, even at the university or work. So when you need to obtain information, so you will be so active, you are so enthusiastic. So you will be listening very carefully. So that will be calling as active listening, because you listen for that. You really want to hear what is happening or to get some information. So you can improve your active listening skill through various techniques. For instance, if I give you the first one, you can paraphrase the speaker's message and ideas using simple words without changing the meaning. So you just listen, you just paraphrase, but paraphrasing doesn't say that you will be throwing away the meaning without destroying the meaning. You will be just paraphrase. And the other one is identifying your weakness. For instance, you are hearing impaired, or whether you have mentally unprepared or easily distracted kind of a thing. So you should. And also the other one you can take as preparing yourself mentally and physically to listen, using various listening strategies such as memory helper. Also, when it comes to the last one, you can say setting priorities. That's mean what are the important things you want to listen to. So you have to know that. And when it comes to the speaking skills, what will happen is you will use most in oral communication. So according to Wood in 2009, three principles explains oral communication, how they affect us. And the fourth one concerning speech qualities obtained from Camp and Sutter in 2002. The interpretation of symbols create meaning. Number 2, it is there are rules in communications. Punctuation affects meaning. And also the last one is the voice attributes. So why we need good oral communication skills? I mean, possessing good oral communication skill make you more effective communicator, of course, as well enable to influence and persuade people. Like you can influence them, and also you can persuade them if you have that talent. And also this is beneficial for you at a personal level as well as socially and professionally. So if you have that good, effective oral communication, you can present yourself to an audience. Building friendships and also knowledge acquisitions and developing workplace competencies. Rules of speaker and listener. So both the speaker and the listener are responsible for ensuring that effective communication takes place. The speaker is the sender of the message, while the listener is the receiver. So you both have to be, if I am sending the message, so I am sending and you being my listener, you have to be very careful to receive the message. So that's mean the sender and the listener, both the parties have a good job to do there. And evaluate the situation, right? Avoid miscommunication. The other one is give and receive feedback, and also maintain a goodwill. So according to Abraham Maslow's categories, human needs 5 levels of understand, needs. The first one you can take is the physical, then the security, then the social, then the esteem and self-actualizations. So use interpersonal skills. So good interpersonal skills are useful when dealing with people as they help to build goodwill. Have a positive attitude. And also the other one is to make your statements and also be a good listener and keep things confidential and be considerate. And interference in communications. According to Devito in 2009, there are several types of noise that might interfere with the communication process. If you take the first one, the physical interference. So second one, you can take it as the physiological interferences, and the third one psychological, and the last one you can call as the semantic. So the interference or noise may distract and prevent the receiver from paying full attention to the message. So the listener would not be able to pay the 100% attention due to those distractions. And when this happens, the message may not be heard and interrupted fully or correctly. So it can be happen. So let's look at the physical interference. This kind of interference is external and outside the control of both the speaker and the receiver. So when we are listening to something with this physical interference, it is very much sure that we will not be able to listen very carefully. So since it will trouble for our listening. And also the physiological interferences comes there are barriers to communication due to the physiological challenges. Speaker or the receiver. The speaker or receiver may be hearing impaired. So sometimes speech articulation problem is there, or suffer from short-term memory. So kind of a thing, those will you call as a physiological. And if you take the psychological, this type of interference, mental makeup, the receiver or the sender are included in biases, prejudices, narrow-mindedness, extreme emotional behavior kind of a thing. So these are kind of a psychological interference. And when you take the last one, that is semantic interference, Semantic, these barriers include language, dialectal and cultural differences. For instance, when these interference are present, the speaker and the listener operate on different meaning system. What the speaker can be interpreted in differently, thus the resulting is misunderstanding. So these are like, you call them as semantic. So hope you enjoyed today, and that's all for today, and thank you so much.